The 13th of May, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay, so
I'll send Alan the link.
Thank you. Tiskel mitzvahs. Okay. Where are we holding here? We got up to Chazer Adin. Lo roizek roizeh, but lo roizek zeh. Oh, start a shavash behen shalidei taino kfira. Hein boin benishba. Afani avi edim shalidei taino kfira. Hein boin benishba. And then the Gemara asked the question. Malut tzad shavash behen shekain loy huchsa kafran. Tomer be'edim shekain huchsa kafran. That's what we have on the table now. Now, did we do the, I don't think we did Tomer Be'edim. I think I remember we didn't do Tomer Be'edim. So we'll get back into this whole shlav of the Gemara here right now, where the Gemara is holding. With the Rashi, Dibra Maskil, Tomer Be'edim. Edim.
Tomer Be'edim. Tomer Be'edim, as we say with witnesses. What the witnesses say. Tomer Be'edim. Let me find what the Tomer Be'edim thing is. Okay. Okay, Tomer Be'edim. Sheme'acha Shekafar, after he was a denier, a kol, after he denies all of it, the Haim Heidu, and they testified al hachamishim on the 50, which is only half of it, not all of it. Chuzach keferto, his denial is then established because he's denying the other remaining 50. Below Omar and no. Below the Emma, when we don't say Aminu that they're believed al hashua, that they could take a shua to get out of it. They're definitely, I guess, once you're a denier, and shua is meaningless because you're once you're a kofar, how can your shua be trusted? You can't be trusted anymore.
Right. That's exactly right.
What page are we on? Hello, it's Alan. Back on.
We're on Daled Amud Aleph.
Okay.
And what's the rest of the information? Art scroll?
We're on 482, but we just did a Rashi. So that Rashi, I don't know where the Rashi is trying to find where the Rashi was from, how far we gotten on the Gemora to the Rashi.
Everybody see?
We're doing that second paragraph, which is, however, the derivation from the common characters is challenged as well. And that's the Rashi I just did. It's that Tomar Be'edim Shebein Chuza Kafarim. Can you say the same with regard to witnesses where the defendant is established to be a denier? He's Chuza Kafran. He's already known to be a denier.
Right. So you might ask, what's the difference between him and the other two guys that we're talking about over here? They also are denying the obligation. And, but it's not the same thing. What are the two cases that we're comparing this third case of witnesses to? We're comparing a case of Eid Echad and a case of Modeh Mixus. So in the case of Eid Echad, the difference is because he's denying he's really only it hasn't been proven conclusively in terms of the edus that he owes anything, right? The plaintiff has said, you owe me a mana, and of course the defendant is denying it completely. But what's the proof against the defendant? Is causing him to swear, and we allow him to swear in this case. One witness doesn't establish a reality, a truth, as far as the Beis Din is concerned. Two witnesses does, and so therefore, if he's found to be in denial in regard to an obligation that two witnesses have said that he owes, that's called being a kafrin. That's called being huchsak kafrin. He's been established as a denier. So therefore, such a person, we're not going to allow him to swear on the other half that's in question that the two witnesses did not testify to. And similarly with the person who's a modamixis, he's really even less of a kafrin than the Eid Echad person, because here we have a case where the plaintiff, he's claiming that he owes him a mana, and he's denying the only one he's denying is the plaintiff, the one who's making the claimant, but the claimant doesn't have any proof whatsoever for his claim. So that's even less proof than the case of when you have one witness. So in that case, this that he's denying the claim in part is no reason to call him a kafrin, to be that he's huchsak kafrin whatsoever. Okay, so that's how we are. So in other words, now what we're saying is that in order to be able to make the person make a shvua, he has to be fitting and capable of making a shvua. And the first two people, the modamixis and the one that has one witness against him, they're fitting to make they're fitting to make a shvua, to deny the claim of the plaintiff. But the third person who has two witnesses that contradict his denial, we're not going to allow him to make that shvua. At least at this juncture in the Gemora, that's what we are saying. We don't have any way of making this tzad hashava work to say that the just like these two guys are going to be able to swear, so too the third person is going to be able to swear. No, because he's really very different than the two of them. He's huchsak kafrin, they're not. Okay, and now we go to the next shlab of the Gemora. Ube'edim mi huchsak kafrin. Now the Gemora is going to challenge whether this, in fact, is called that the guy is the defendant is huchsak kafrin. And we go to Alan to read for us.
4A2, left-hand column, bottom, the last one. Is that where we're on?
Mhm. On the left.
The Gemora answers.
Yes.
Okay, Gemora answers by challenging the questioner's premise. Uva adim mi zak kapron. Oh, and has the defendant been established to be a denier or of his debt by witnesses who contradict his denial? Before Amar Ram Ed Bar or Chin or Vin Omar Rav Chistor. Rav Edi Bar Avin said the name of Rav Chistor Fair kasher dos. One who falsely denies a loan obligation remains qualified to be a witness. Feet cordon por also deuce, but one who falsely denies even part of a deposit obligation is disqualified from being a witness. Therefore, we see that one who falsely denies a loan obligation is not deemed an outright thief, and there is no reason, therefore, to refrain from imposing an oath obligation on him.
Let's take a look at Rashi. Kofer b'milva. Lou, Kofer b'milva.
Bain al kula, bain al miksas, uba o edim v'ha idohu ad shalo nishba. Whether he denies all of it, or he denies part of it, and then witnesses come and they testify
They do.
until he doesn't swear.
I think it means right. That's what it means literally, but in the context, it means before he swears. Before the time that he is given to swear.
So witnesses come in and testify that he owes it, and then he swears he doesn't owe it.
Yeah, it sounds kind of strange. How could that be? If two witnesses say that he owes it, how do we allow him to swear against it? So it must be that what it means is that it must be that when it means ad shelo nishba, it's like I said before he swears, but since they did come and there's two of them, Rashi says edim, that's two of them. Since they came, so he's not going to be able to he's not going to be allowed to swear right now because they've already established that he owes the money. He won't be able to swear. He can only swear against one witness. To contradict one witness, we give him to swear. But the difference over here is that the reason that we don't allow him to swear in this case is the reason because he's huksa kafrin. There's really another reason why we don't allow him to swear over here. The reason we don't allow him to swear is because it's been established that he owes the money. There's two witnesses that have come along and said he owes the money. So we don't see a proof that he's huksa kafrin over here in this case. And furthermore, the Gemora is saying over here that according to Rabbi Idi Bar Avin, he's saying that such a person who has denied a loan, denied having owed money that was loaned to him, is kosher le'edus. He himself could be an aid in a different case. In this case, he's not an aid in this case. He's a party to the case. Party to the case doesn't give aidus. The people that give aidus are people that are not parties to the case. They're quote unquote objective bystanders. We hope they are. So, what we see. So you'll ask. So what is the what do we see over here? What do we see from this, what the Gemora is saying? Remember, what's the Gemora doing over here? The Gemora is challenging the statement that the Gemora just got through making. The Gemora just got through making a statement that somebody who has said something denying the claim of the plaintiff, and then witnesses come along and they testify in favor of the plaintiff. The Gemora said such a person is huchsa kafrin. And now the Gemora is saying, wait a second, is that really correct what you're saying, that such a person is huchsa kafrin? We have a statement from Ravidi Barabin who says that such a person who denied a loan, he's kosher to give edus. Now, a person who's kosher to give edus, it couldn't be that he's kosher to give edus even though he's been established as a kafrin. That couldn't be. So it must be that if Ravidi Barabin is saying that such a person is kosher le'edus, it must be that he's not huchsa kafrin when he denies a loan. And Rashi says we're talking about a case, not only did he deny the loan, the plaintiff said, I loaned you money and you didn't pay me back. And he says, I never met you in my life, sir. That's not gonna make him a kafrin. But witnesses come along and say, yes, we were there when he loaned him the money and we saw he loaned him a mana. Oh yeah. So now, is he huchsa kafrin now? According to Ravidi Barabin, we got to say, no, he's not huchsa kafrin. How do you know? Because he says he's kosher le'edus. This case right here, he's going to have to pay the mana, because that's what the witnesses said he owes. And even if he denied it, too bad. The witnesses say he owes it, he's got to pay it. But in a future case, he could be called in as a witness to testify in a case. How could he be called as a witness to testify in a case? He's a kafrin. No, apparently not. He's not a kafrin. So this is what the Gemara is saying over here.
What is this statement of Rashi about Bain Kula Ubain Mechatzi?
Even if he denies the whole amount, not only do we say that he's not a kafrin if he only partially denies the claim, but even if he denies the claim in total, he's not huchsa kafrin. He's going to be kosher le'edus. Right? It's a bigger chiddush to say that if he denies the whole amount in question, and the witnesses say he owes the whole amount, that he's not huchsa kafrin. That's a bigger chiddush than saying that if he denied half of the amount and they say he owes the whole thing. You might think to say, okay, he didn't deny the whole thing. Okay, I mean, he didn't deny the whole thing. He's not a kafrin. Says Rashi, even if he denies the whole thing, he's not a kafrin. He's not a kafrin. Now, the question is, why is he not a kafrin? Why is it actually that he's kosher le'edus? And there's a Rashi over here that's going to say a few about that. So let's read the Rashi, Dibra Maskil, kosher le'edus. Oh, it's a rather long Rashi. Who's zocha to read this long Rashi? Phil.
I'll start.
Phil will start it.
Then we can always take over, right?
Right.
He's kosher to eight. He's good for eight. And then it says, no, that says kosher lamal. No, that's not it. it's not kosher. It's kosher b'malva. It's kosher to have a loan. We didn't read that one.
No, it's immediately following the last words.
Right, but we didn't finish the one before that. A kosher b'malva. He'd be kosher for a loan.
Oh, you're reading the Dibur Mastil Hakofer B'milva. Yeah, we read that before. Who read that?
We read that. Okay, so we read that. Okay, so we're up to the hakosher ladies. He's kosher for Adis. The low Amrina, we don't say Gosling. We don't say he's a Gosling. The Torah Amra, and the Torah says in Shmos, Al Teshet Rasha. You don't make him a Rasha odd until a Rasha is that aid or odd?
Aid. You don't make a Russia an aid. You can't call on a Russia to be an aid in a case.
Yeah, okay, so that's why. So he'd be puzzle for aiders. That's right. So you don't make a Russia into an aid. The cave in since the Malva. We're back to this loan again, because the lender there will take out and it will give him Dilma, perhaps Srich Lahotzio. You need to take it away from him. The Savar aid and the aid home to the Havili that it is to him, Zuzi, this Zuz. Parano, he will collect it for me, for him. The E Modiani, if he admits it, Chash to hear, Yit Bani Miad. He would have to make a claim immediately about Hakofer, but the denier, the picadone of a deposit, a filu mixad, even on part of it. Vubo adim, and adim come, witnesses come, either they testify, puzzle the adis, they'd be puzzle the adis. The my, what is it who? To him, Gabi, the picadone, deposit. Ashtamoti, not say. What is this? What's this? Ashtamoti bin nafshahu. Something personal he does.
Shema Toima Avad. Maybe he'll say he lost it. It was lost from him. Vishtamitle, and he will push off the depositor. Ad the mishkachle, until he finds it.
Until you find it, right? Come on, like later on, later on in the parak, it will say, meaning that established his knowledge, Shahare, that it is, but Amrin, he says he on this one, Sha'ata biyodeha. Now it's in your hands. Now keep it away. I'll take it. Okay, it's not easy. Go ahead.
Okay, so actually, Rashi's talking about the next case that we didn't read, as well as the first case. There's two cases over here that Ravidi Bar Avin is talking about. Actually, I guess Alan did read the next one. So what are the two cases? The first case is Kofer B'milva. Kofer B'milva, he denies. That was the Rashi that we read. The plaintiff says he owe a mana, and he denies it completely. Even if he denies it completely, and witnesses come and say, no, he owes the mana, and then he's got to pay. And he'll remain kosher le'edus. for having done so. In spite of having done so, the defendant remain a kosher person to be able to give testimony in another case. Now, this is not so. This is not so in the case of somebody who denies having a deposit that was deposited him, and he denies it. In that case, Kofar Bipikadon, the Gemora says, Rav Eidi Bar Abin says, he is Pasol Le'edis. Yes, sirree. He's Pasol. He's regarded as a Goslin. And Rashi, over here in this long Rashi, he's trying to explain, he is explaining, we're trying to understand him, the difference between why the first guy is not a Goslin and he's kosher le'edis, and the second guy is, yes, regarded as a Goslin, and he has disqualified himself from being a witness. So let's take a look at, we have time? Let's take a look at Rashi again. Rashi, kosher le'edis. So he's going to first talk about the kofar b'milva, and he says, Lo amrin Goslin hu. We don't say that this person who denied the loan is a Goslin. What's a Goslin? A guy that said robs you from your money, right out of your pocket. He robs you. So we don't say we don't say that about him. Torah Amra al Tashis Rasha Aid. And the Torah says you cannot make a Russia a witness. And who's the Russia that we're talking about over here? There's Goslin. The Goslin's a Russia, and therefore he cannot be a witness. Okay. The Kavan. Now, so Rashi's got to explain now. So why is this guy not regarded as a Goslin? He's denied the loan, and the witnesses have confirmed the fact that he actually does owe the money. So Rashi says he's not regarded as a Goslin because Kavan de milva lahotsa nitna. Step one, when Jew number one loans money to Jew number two, he puts $1,000 in his hand. Here's the loan. Now, who owns that $1,000 right now that it's in the hand of the borrower? Whose money is it? Whose money does it belong to? It belongs to the borrower. It belongs to the borrower. That's what it means over here, milva lahotsa nitna. What happens when somebody loans somebody money? He's taking his $1,000, which he owns, it belongs to him, and he's loaning it to Plony. And he puts it in Plony's hand. The minute that Plony possesses it, it is Plony's money now. It belongs to Plony. Now, Plony has an obligation now to pay back for that loan that the lender gave him. But this money right here is not called the lender's money anymore. That's what it means when it says milva lahotsa nitna. Okay, so now you can probably figure out on your own why this lender, rather why this borrower is not considered to be a Goslin anymore. And Rashi's going to explain. Rashi says, Dilma, Rashi says like this, Dilma tzarich lahotzia, v'sabar ad dahavili zuze uperanale. To tell you the truth, well, let's leave that on the side for the moment. The main point, I'm not translating those words Dilma Tsarik Lahotzia, because I'm not sure what Rashi has in mind with those words. But after that, Rashi says that we're talking about the borrower, and he says to himself, you know, I'm not really trying to steal this guy's $1,000 from him that I owe him. I'm not trying to do that. What am I trying to do when I'm denying that I borrowed the money from him? Or I'm saying that I paid it back, and it makes no difference. Either way, what am I doing? I'm really just biding time. Right now, I don't have the $1,000 to be able to give him, I'm just saying I'm just denying him in order to bide time, and then when I get the money, I will pay him. V'modina lehashta yitveni miyad. And if I'm gonna, and this is still the borrower talking to himself. He says, and if I'm gonna say yes, I admit that I owed the 1,000. So then what's gonna happen? Hashta yitvena miyad. They're gonna say, well, give it up, but give him the money now. Go and give him the $1,000 that you just got through admitting that you owe him. Well, I don't have that money, Your Honor. So that's why he's denying the claim over here. And so that's not regarded as a person who is trying to steal money from you, from the lender. He's just biding time. So now we need to know, so what's the difference in the case of the deposits? What's the case of what's the difference in the deposit? Because Rashi says, somebody who denies a deposited item that was deposited by him, even if it's only a partial denial, ubo edim, and witnesses come, v'heidiuhu, and they testify in regard to this matter. Pasala edis. Ravida Bar Avin is saying over here that this nifkad, this trustee, so to speak, has now disqualified himself from being a witness as a result of denying the pikadon that was given him. What's the difference between him and the borrower? Explains Rashi. Both of them denied the obligation that they owe. No, what's the difference? So Rashi says, "Demai habi le gabe pikadon lishtemute nafshe." What business does this trustee custodian have in denying denying the pikadon? There's no he doesn't need to do that. Shematomar Avad, maybe you'll say he lost it, and he's just putting off the depositor until he finds it. Rashi seems to discount that possibility, because that would seem to be a reason to make him look like he's not a Goslin. The Kaman Bepirkin Mukminin, the Gemora says later on Daf Hey Amid Beis, that the type of a denier that we're talking about over here is when the witnesses testified in the following way. Mukminin, the Gemara concludes over there on Daf Hey Amid Beis, but the also Sahade, the witnesses came after the Nifkad denied having received the deposit, the Umre, and they say, "Ha-hi shaita, this time right now, biyode, it's in his hands, nokatle, he's holding on to it, it's in his backyard, we saw it in his backyard this morning." So that's the whole difference between these two cases. Right? If we have testimony that this nifkad has let's say he loaned he didn't loan him, he deposited He said, I want you to keep this animal in safekeeping for me. And so when he comes in and says, can I have my animal back? And he says, sorry, it was stolen. So the witnesses, so he brings witnesses and say, sorry, but we saw the animal in your backyard this morning. So that is a total refutation of the claim of the what's his name. He can't. There's no basis for him to say, oh, I'm just trying to bide for time and all that type of stuff. But in the case of the money, Rashi's explaining with the loan is a different story, because it immediately when it passes hands into the borrower, it becomes the borrower's money. So there's really no money over here that belongs to the lender, that the borrower is holding on to, and the witnesses could come and say, we saw the money in his safe this morning. There's no such a thing. So therefore, we could say that really what he's trying to do, he's not trying to avoid steal this $1,000 from the lender. He's simply abiding for time until he gets the money. He'll pay it back. That's the difference between these two cases. Okay. So now at this point in the Gemora, so we're saying that it's not so that somebody who is a kofar of a milva is regarded as a kafran, and they should not be able to make a shvua. By the way, we're equalizing not being able to give testimony with the same as not being able to make a shvua. Somebody who's puzzled to give edus, he'd also be puzzled to make a shvua. We wouldn't let him make a shvua. So now we're saying, but we let this guy give edus. So if so, then he would be allowed to make a shvua too, even though he's been shown to have been denying a loan that witnesses have come and said that he owes. So if so, then our tzad hashava should come back, and we should be able to learn the third case from the first two. What does the Gemara say about this? Ella Porikachi. We go to Roy.
Elo Piruch Abay. Is that right? Rather challenge Reb Chia's law like this. Ma lahatzad hashaveh shiba ein shechein einain b'saras hazama. What can you prove from the common characteristic shared by personal admission and a solitary witness when they are not subject to the law of hazama? To amar ba'edim sheyishnan zaras avoma, not hazama. Can you say the same with regard to two witnesses who are subject to the law of hazama? And it concludes, how then can you derive the law of witnesses from the source laws of personal admission and a solitary witness?
Let's take a look at Rashi. Dibra Maskil B'Toras Hazama. Lou.
Okay, let's see, where is it?
Easiest place to try to find is, you see the little thing where it says where the Bach is, and there's that little thing in the center. It's a couple of lines below that. First word in one is late.
What's the Dibra Moskil again, please?
B'toras hazama.
Toras.
It's the second line word on the page, on the line.
Toras.
There's a
Give me
base
another-
in front of the Toras. B'toras hazama.
So, yeah, but if you look on the right, on the Gemora, and then there's, on the right side of the Gemora, there's a white space. And then just go down till there's some letters in the bottom, a Reish Samech Lamed. It's one line above that.
I would say that it's about 2/3 of the way down on the Rashi's column.
Okay. B'toras hazama, b'toras.
Yeah, that's it.
I see Tomar Be'edim.
No, we
Here,
were-
I found it. B'toras hazama.
Okay.
Shalem Kinas the Kamar Zamam the aid Echad She Huzam Patur Vipiv Gabe Hoda'a Kol Shekain Delo Shaicha Hazama Klal. To pay a fine, as it says, he's
It's not a.
if he's been refuted, if they refute a single witness with Hazama, he's exempt, and his mouth by admitting all, I'm sorry, by admitting even more so that he's not appropriate for Hazama at all.
Right. So Rashi is making a distinction between the two cases that we're comparing the case of two witnesses to. But we don't have any time for that. Okay, so we'll get back to this Rashi next time. Toras Hazama.
This afternoon? See, you picked me
This
up?
afternoon is good, Alan, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Okay,
Take care.
All the best, Phil. Have a great day.
have a great day, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Rabbi.
Bye-bye.
All the best, Roy. Amen. Bye, Lou. Bye, Alan.
Bye,
Okay.
Rabbi. Thank you so much.